Welcome back you all to our online classes. And you all know that now we are discussing about motion and time. And in this we already discussed about what is motion. Yes. Can you tell me what is motion? Right. Motion is the change in the position of an object with respect to time. So along with the time, if the position of an object won't changing, then we can call it as the motion. And we also discussed about the speed of an object. Then what is the speed of an object? So speed of an object can be defined as the distance covered by an object in a unit time. One unit time only when the object is to distance cover marata adenu the speed of that object. So this we have discussed. And what is the equation for the speed? How can we calculate the speed of an object? And whatever we are discussing regarding the speed, that is what the average. Okay, average speed of the object. So we know, I explained in the yesterday class. So that speed can be calculated. So in unit time means in the given time how much distance it has covered. For example, say if I give if the vehicle takes 1 hour to complete or 1 hour to cover 65 kilometers, then 65 kilometers per hour is the speed, means that is the average speed. So it doesn't mean that it will travel in this constant speed. Adu constant speed odagane aithe tantala. So sometimes when the road is without any traffic or if it is the clear road, then the driver can move very fast. Or if there is in middle, if any crowd is there, or if traffic is there, or if the road brakes may come, so in that time he reduces the speed of the vehicle. So likewise, so whatever the circumstances may be, so in 1 hour either he may come fast or he may come slow according to the depending on the circumstances. But in 1 hour how many kilometers he had covered? 65. Then 65 kilometers per hour is the speed of the vehicle. So it means it is only indicated that in 1 hour it can cover 65 kilometers. So this is what the average speed we calculated. And in the yesterday class I have given an example regarding this speed. And this example I had given as the homework for you. Most of you have done and you have sent also. Some of you have done correctly and some of you have made some mistakes. So now we can discuss. So how to calculate? So the given problem is find the distance covered by a car traveling at a speed of 80 kilometers per hour in 1 hour and 30 minutes. So here what is given, just read carefully. Find the distance covered by a car. So first only they have given find the distance. So what we have to find out here? The distance covered by a car. And the speed is given, that is 80 kilometers per hour. And time is given. So this distance it covered in 1 hour 30 minutes. Then we have to find out what is the distance covered by the vehicle. So now we can write solution. So the speed of the car is equal to 80 kilometer per hour. And the second thing they had given that time. So time is given, that is 1 hour 30 minutes. So here it implies that we can also say that it is 1.5 hours. Yes, 1.5 hour we can 1.5 hour. So it means that 1 hour 30 minutes, 1.5 hour. Okay. So this is what the time, and we know that. Yes, what we know? We know that it is the short form WKT, means we know that. We know that speed. How can we calculate the speed? Speed is equal to distance divided by time. Yes, speed can be calculated by using the equation distance divided by time. Then what we have to calculate now? Yes, we have to calculate the distance. So then how can we write it? Distance is equal to, if the time we take here, what it will be? Here it is divided by. So then if it converts here, then it will be become multiplication. So speed into time. Distance is equal to speed into time. And then we know the values, right? Some of the things are given here and we know those values. So what is the speed of the car? Yes, it is 80 kilometer per hour. Yes, the speed of the car is 80 kilometer per hour. And what is the time? So time here it is there, 1.5 hour. Yes, multiply it. 80 into 1.5, how much? Yes, it is hour get cancelled because it is there divided by. Yes, per hour means it will be there under divide. So it is there into. So it will be cancelled. And 80 into 1.5 is equal to 120 kilometer. So the distance covered by the car. The distance covered by car is equal to 120 kilometers. Yes, is it clear? Any doubts are there regarding this? So you can take any values and you can practice some problems regarding the speed. And if they give any two values in this equation, they can give any two values so that we can able to calculate the other one, because these are all are interdependent. In mathematics you might have learned, okay, equal to sign iddaga illi divided by ittandra adu equal to sign daati kade bantandra multiply agtೈತಿ. It is basic what you have already learned. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನರ into ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರ equal to sign ದಾಟಿ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತಂದ್ರ ಅದೇನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ, divided by ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. Yes, so plus idra minus ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ, minus idra plus ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. So likewise you have learned already. So the same thing we have to amplify here, or we have to apply here. So implement ಮಾಡಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, problem ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ this will be very easy. Okay, now the distance covered by the car is 120 kilometers. Okay, now see, one more thing you have to remember here. Always when we write the units, and writing the unit is compulsory, huh? Every time whenever you solve the problems, if you are solving the distance, then you have to mention the unit of the distance. So now here it is given in kilometers, then you have to write the unit, that is the kilometer, right? And if it is given, so here the time is there 1.5 hour. So 1.5 hour. So like that unit you have to mention wherever it is. You have to mention the unit. And remember, the most important thing is always the unit should be written in the singular form. ಯಾವುದರ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಬರೀರಿ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಬರಿಬೇಕು, ಸಿಂಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಒಳಗನ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್. ಈಗ 120 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್, ಎಸ್ ಇದು 120, if it is more than 1 means you should not write here 120 kilometers. Yes, you should not add here yes kilometers and ಬರೆಯಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, so it will be wrong. So always you have to write the singular. Always when you have to write the units you have to write in the singular form. Now nodri 1 kilometer adu suppose 1 kilometer idrunu ನಾವೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ 1 kilometer distance ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದು 120 ಇರಲಿ 1000 ಇರಲಿ 500 ಇರಲಿ ಎನಿವೆ ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟಿದ್ರು ನಾವೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್. 120 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್, 500 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್, 1000 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಹಂಗಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. 500 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ಗಳು 1000 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ರೈಟ್? So that is the reason what we have to write only the singular form. Whenever we want to write the units, you have to write in the singular form. Okay? And now we can discuss about the time period. Yes, the time period. So time period means we always, whatever it is, we can calculate it by using the time with reference to the time we always measure. For example, if you wanted to study, then you will having certain time for that every day, 2 hours, 3 hours like that. Or in sometime what you will do for eating the food also, sometime you will be the timings is afternoon lunch at 1 o'clock, or the dinner at 8:30 or 9 o'clock like that. So for everything we measure the time. Is how much time we play, how much time we study, and how much time we do other works and all. So for everything we have the time. So we measure time for everything. That is what the measurement of time. Measurement of time. So nowadays what happened? We have all the instruments. We have different kinds of clocks to measure the time. But what about our ancestors? The ancient time, the people, they don't have these any technologies. They don't have the digital watches, or they don't have the wristwatch or the wall clock. So they do not have any of such things to measure the time. Then how they measure the time in those days? So see how they measure. Now we know that 1 year means 365 days and 1 day means 24 hours. So like that we measure. But what about our ancestors? How they measure the time? So even they also used to measure the time. So that is by, so the people, they count for counting the month. They used to count the new moons. ಈಗೊಂದೇನು ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಅಮಾವಾಸ್ಯೆ ಆದ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಥವಾ ಹುಣ್ಣಿಮೆ ಆದ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So this new moon to the next new moon, it is 1 month. ಇವತ್ತು ಹುಣ್ಣಿಮೆ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹುಣ್ಣಿಮೆ ಬರೋದು ಯಾವಾಗ್ರಿ 1 month ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತೈತಲ್ಲ. Yes, so from this new moon to the next new moon, it is 1 month. At the same time, they used to find out the day and means that 1 day, 1 complete day, because every day the sun sets and the sun rises. So from one sunrise to the next sunrise, it is 1 day. Yes. So the day is having day and night. 1 complete day. It is having the daytime, half daytime, and 12 hours night time, like that. So 1 complete day means it is having 24 hours. Now we know that calculation. But those ancient people, they do not know this. So they usually measure a day. It is based on the sunset and sunrise. So from one sunrise to the next sunrise, it will be 1 day. And from one new moon to the next new moon, it will be 1 month. And the years also, to complete 1 revolution. So depending on the seasons and all, they used to calculate the months, day and years like this. But now we have the pendulum clocks and some digital clocks are also there, and table clocks are also there. So many of the different kinds of watches we have now, the clocks we have, and even the wrist watches we have. So by using that, we measure the time. So one such experiment to calculate the time period, it is given in your textbook, that is simple pendulum. Yes, the simple pendulum, a very simple experiment. Now I will explain and I will show how to demonstrate. Simple pendulum. Okay. So see the simple pendulum, it is just having a stand. Yes, one stand will be there. And a thread is freely suspended. Yes, a thread is suspended freely through this stand, and to this one end is tied with a metallic ball. It is called ball. Yes, the metallic ball. This is what? The metallic ball, and for this metallic ball we call as the bob. Okay, bob. It is fixed or it is tied to one end, and this is thread. It is here. The bob is tied with the thread to the stand. Okay, so here the bob is tied to the stand with the thread, and then see how to calculate the time period. So to do this, so when we drag this ball, it will be moved towards its extreme positions. Okay, so here when we drag the ball, so it will be moved like this. So this is what A, and this is what we can call the position B. Yes. So these two are the extreme positions we can call A and B, which I mentioned here. These two are the extreme positions, means the end positions where the bob can move. And the position, the forward position of the bob, it is mentioned with the letter O, and this is called as the mean position. Yes, this is the mean position of the bob, and these A and B are the extreme positions. Okay, it reaches its extreme positions when we drag the bob, and when we drag and leave it started moving. So this bob, when it started moving, it swings. Now swing. So likewise it swings. It moves to and fro motion. And this to and fro motion of the bob is called as oscillatory motion. The to and fro motion of a simple pendulum, that we call as the oscillatory motion. The to and fro motion, the to and fro motion of the simple pendulum is called oscillatory motion. Oscillatory motion. So here it moves to and fro, means the bob, it will move the to, and next again it will come back, that is the fro motion. The to and fro motion of a simple pendulum, that is called as oscillatory motion. And when we said that the simple pendulum, when we said it has completed one oscillation, it means, see, the bob, it can start its motion from its mean position, and then it reaches the extreme position A, and then again from there it come back to the one more extreme position B, and from there it will come back to the mean position O. So this complete cycle of the simple pendulum, it is called as the oscillation. So it is called one complete oscillation. Okay, so the oscillation means what? The bob starts, the simple pendulum, it starts its motion from mean position O, and it reaches can say it is the time taken to complete one oscillation. So what is the time period? So time period means time period can be defined as the time taken by a pendulum to complete one oscillation. To complete one oscillation is called time period. Yes, this is time period. Then how can we calculate this time period? And how can we, what equation we can use to calculate the time period? That we can discuss now. So see, time period of a simple pendulum. So how can we calculate the time period of a simple pendulum? So to this you need this arrangement. So if you want to do this activity, just take a stand and then a thread, and if the ball or the metallic ball, if it is not available, just take a stone. Yes, the piece of stone also you can use to do this activity, and then tie the stone to the thread and then fix it, suspend it freely to the stand, then do not disturb the stand, and then just drag this ball which is suspended to the thread to the stand freely. Just drag to this position B, leave the thread. Okay, drag ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಬಾಲ್ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಸಿಲೇಟಿಂಗ್. ಹೌದಾ, ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಆಸಿಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. And just take the stopwatch and on the time, yes, start the time, and with that you start counting the oscillations. So just note down the time to complete 20 oscillations. So how much time it will take to complete 20 oscillations? So that you can measure. Then if we divide the time taken to complete 20 oscillations divided by number of time, you can get the time period of the pendulum. Okay, so how can we calculate? Time period can be calculated by time period equal to time taken to complete 20 oscillations divided by number of oscillations. So in your textbook it is given 20 oscillations. So you can likewise, you may find out different number of oscillations also. So that time period, how can we calculate? The time taken divided by number of oscillations. So either it may be 20, 30, 40, how many, whatever it may be, the number. So number of oscillations, the time taken divided by number of oscillations. So the time taken to complete the number of oscillations. So if we divide the time taken divided by this number of oscillations, we get the time period. So time period means it is the time taken by a pendulum to complete one oscillation. Okay. So likewise, one example is given in your textbook. So time period of a simple pendulum. So in that the column is given, one column is given. So the first one, it is serial number and the time taken for 20 oscillations. Time taken for 20 oscillations, and then time period. Okay, so this is what it is given in your textbook. And to calculate the time period, if you do the activity only one 1 second, half second, like that. Slight difference may be there. It will not be that much long variations. So just you have to count. So first time if you count, it might have take 42 seconds. Okay. So if it takes the 42 seconds for 20 oscillations, then you can just insert here. Okay. So how much time it has taken here? It is 42 seconds. Yes, 42 seconds divided by 20 oscillations. The number of oscillations, for how many oscillations we are counting? 20 oscillations. So 42 divided by 20. So it means that it is 2.1 second. Yes, this is what? The time period. Okay, here we can write. So time period will be written in seconds. So time taken to complete 20 oscillation is 2.1. 2.1. Suppose if you do the same, that is the length of 100 centimeter, we can say. If you do the same experiment second time, you may get 40 seconds. Yes. And if it is 40 seconds, again you can do the same with this. If it takes 40 seconds, then the time taken is 40 seconds and number of oscillation is 20. Then what is the time period? Yes, it is 2 seconds. Then we can write here 2 seconds. Right? At the same time, if you do the same activity to the third time, it may give 43 seconds. Okay? If it takes 43 seconds, then 43 divided by 20. Yes? Again, it may take. Yes. So 2.15 it may take. So likewise, the pendulum, there is slight variations are there here, not major. Slight variations will be there in this. So that this is what the average, the time period we can calculate like this. So time period is the time taken by a pendulum to complete one oscillation. This is what the time period. And I said the unit must be written in the singular form. And there is an interesting story behind the discovery of this time period. So that is, once the Galileo Galilei, you might have heard his name. So Galileo Galilei was the famous scientist. Once he was sitting in a church, and there the lamp is suspended to a chain. You know, lamp on metal chain is suspended when he was sitting in a church. So that time when he was started to pray, so he just observed to the wind, just that lamp started swinging. A lamp enayitu oscillate aga start ಮಾಡಿ. So scientists, they are always in some thinkings. Yes, scientists ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಅವರು ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಇನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವಾಗ. And so that in that meantime, what happened? He started that observing that oscillation, and the same time he observed his pulse rate. So this oscillation and his pulse rate was same. So then he started discovering the pendulums, and then later on, depending on this, they have made many. The pendulum clocks were made by this thought. ಇದರಿಂದಾಗೆ ಏನು ಪೆಂಡುಲಮ್ ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ಸ್, ಮೊದಲೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಪೆಂಡುಲಮ್ ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಪೆಂಡುಲಮ್ ಇರ್ತಿದ್ವು. ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಗಂಟೆ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಹಿಂಗೇನು ಅಲಾರ್ಮ್ ಟೈಪ್. ಓಕೆ, the sound may come like that. The pendulum clock were there. Then the winding clocks and that everything nowadays, the digital watches, everything has discovered now. So this is what, they are all invented, and this is how the simple pendulum idea, it has give the idea to invent the clocks, the different types of clocks. And then we can see the simple pendulum experiment. Now we can see the with an attached video clip. Now we can see that how to demonstrate the simple pendulum activity. Now we can see that. Simple pendulum. Here it has a metallic ball and thread of 1 meter that is suspended to a stand. It is freely suspended, and this metallic ball is also called bog. And when you drag and leave the bog, it will start to and fro motion. So here you can see how the to and fro motion is there. So it reaches its extreme positions, say A and B, and its position O, its former position, that is called mean position. So here it starts swinging in this direction, and the mean position is its rest position or former position, and from that it reaches its two extreme positions A and B. And the periodic or oscillatory motion. So this to and fro motion of a simple pendulum is called periodic motion, and in this motion it reaches till A and then again back to B, and from the B again back to O. This is called oscillation, and time taken by the bog to complete one oscillation is called the time period of the pendulum. So this is how we can calculate the time period of the pendulum. So see the mean position, it is what we can call O, and from this mean position, now you just take a stopwatch to measure the time period and just drag it and leave, then start the stopwatch. And likewise count 20 oscillations. Okay, and when you count 20 oscillations, just note the time, and then for 20 oscillations you just note down the time. So it is given here. So time taken for 20 oscillations, it is 42 seconds. Then second time it may be 41 or 43 likewise. So the time period, it will be slight variations will be there. So time period will be calculated by time taken divided by number of oscillations. So first one, the readings were come like this. So there is a slight changes, not much, very slight changes will be there. This is how we can demonstrate the simple pendulum to find the time period. And then see, even this time period, we can also calculate very small time periods also. Very small intervals of time are there. Time also there. So now we can say that within a fraction of second. Fraction of second means it is the part of the second. Okay? Fraction of second atandra second olaga part adandra second kilanu kadimi time aitanaga atala. So that there are many different small intervals of time are there. So that we call as the microsecond and nanoseconds. Microseconds and nanoseconds. So these microseconds and nanoseconds, they are very small units of time. So this microsecond means 1 millionth. Okay, 1 millionth. So 1 second or millionth divide madidre ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ ಅದೇನು 1 microsecond. And this nanosecond will be 1 billionth. You know. So in this only, this much small units, 1 second or a millionth, how much? Very little. And also sometimes you can use the small intervals in the sports also. Yes, in the sports also you can check the means this much seconds and maybe fractions and all. So even you are using there also the stopwatches, the digital what we have now. So these are what some of the very small intervals of time. Okay. So this is what about the simple pendulum and the time period. And in the next class we can discuss how to measure the speed. So again we can have some problems on that. So that all we can discuss in the next class. And with this I will conclude my today's class. I hope you have understood, and even contact me and clarify your doubts. Thank you.